Hey guys, I'm back with a writing lesson. Before we get into the lesson, I wanted to talk briefly about how you should be revising and editing along the way. Good writers don't wait until just the end to revise and edit when it's time for publishing, but they fix things up along the way. So you can use the checklist. That's why you should always have your checklist out next to you. So you can kind of fix up things along the way. I wanted to just show you Zoe's writing, which I showed you before, and you can see where she has things crossed out here. Excuse me, let me move it up. Things crossed out here. On one page, she she crossed something out, and then she added above. She crossed out here. She made her words dark. She added words in. So she might not have done that all at the end. She might have done it along the way because you want to make sure that your writing's easy to read and it looks nice for the reader. Okay, today's lesson I want to talk to you about how realistic fiction writers often study what makes realistic fiction seem so real or seem so realistic. And then they think about their own experiences, things that have happened to them, and they write stories that seem this real. Okay? So I attached below Henry and the Mudgeon and the Happy Cat. And I want you to listen to that and think about what makes that story so real. Is Henry's house real? The place, are the characters real? Are they ordinary people who do ordinary things? Do they wear ordinary clothes like we wear? Um, think about what they were doing there. They were watching TV and sitting on the couch. Is that a real thing to do? Does Mudge act like a real dog? Um, and see what things you notice that make Cynthia Ryland's book real. And then you can use some of the same things in your writing. In Henry and the Mudge and the Happy Cat, um, the um, the little cat, he loves the bathtub and he loves Mudge. The cat does real things. He licks other animals. Um, the cat doesn't turn into a monster. The story doesn't take place on a spaceship. So what things in the book make it seem real? I have one of the Henry and Mudge books here. Henry and Mudge Get the Cold Shivers. And I know that dogs like to eat people food because Bailey likes to eat people food. So that seems real. I know that, when I was sick when I was younger, I didn't want to get out of bed. And I stayed in the bed. Um, I know that dogs go to the doctor because Bailey goes to the doctor. So these are all things that seem real in the story. I know that sometimes Bailey doesn't feel well when he puts his head down. His head is down because he's not feeling well. Um, I know this is what the doctor does when Bailey goes to the doctor. The vet does this. So all of these things seem real to me. Okay. Um, there was one part where I think in one of the stories, Mudge was on the bed. Bailey gets on the bed too, so I know that seems real. I know dogs like to run a lot, run and play. Bailey loves to run and play. Okay, some dogs like water and some dogs don't. So that's a real thing. Look, here's with the food. He's eating the hot dogs. All of these things seem real. I know when I went to the beach, I made sand castles. And sometimes my dad helped me. So that's a real thing. People go to the beach. That's a real thing. So think about all the things that are real. There are there are crabs and lobsters at the beach. I think, oh, this is a lobster. So those are real things that are in the ocean that are at the beach. So those are real things. You need to study mentor authors and see what makes their books real, and then you can do the same in your books. Okay? Make sure that every part of your story seems real, just like Cynthia Ryland does, just like Barbara Park does in the Junie B. Jones books. Look at some of the books that you're reading, and if they're real, see what makes them real. Now, I want to remind you that you should be planning your stories. You can either plan across your fingers, you could touch the pages, you can say out loud what you want to put on each page, you can sketch the pictures. You can even write a little word on the top of each page to remind you what you will put on that page. And what works for you for planning might not work for somebody else. You pick the thing that works for you best, okay? I just wanted to show you Izzy's story about how she introduced, this is the first book in her series, and it says, "Hello, my name is Katie. I live in Mexico. I never lie and always tell the truth. I have no dad, but I have a mom named Rebecca. Yesterday, I took an airplane to Hawaii. We're staying in a hut on the beach. Today, I'm going swimming. I'm leaving on Saturday, and today is Wednesday. My mom said that in the afternoon, I'm going swimming in the deep ocean. I'm 10 years old." So this whole page kind of introduces things about her, how old she is, what her name is, where she lives, some things about her family, where they are, the setting. So this could be the first, maybe the first book in her series. And then she goes on to the story and tells about the problem and what happened, okay? In my story about Michelle and Emma at the beach, that had a lot of real things because people do have picnics at the beach. Friends do go to the beach together. Sometimes people can't swim, and sometimes people get caught up in the waves and get scared. So all of those things are real. The setting is real, the characters seem real. At the beach, they're wearing their bathing suits, they're wearing ordinary clothes, doing ordinary things, and they're in ordinary places that we see all the time. Make sure that your stories are like that, okay? And I'll see you next time.